Good morning. Welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman. Today is January 11th, and it is day number 495 of this research. Reminder, Forensic SEO Training starts next week on the 19th. I've got one more seat and enrollment. I'll just close it soon if I don't fill it. But for details, go to forensicseotraining.com. And thank you again for leaving your comments. Some have a certain forced feel to them, but I'm quite happy. I really I thank you a lot. So please continue to add your thoughts, and that way we communicate to YouTube's algorithm so more people can find out about this research. And more importantly to me, it tells me that this is worth the time and the effort to share. All right, quick recap. This is an indexation research project testing how long it takes new content from published into being findable. And I have two test sites, the original one and a new one. And let's just go right here for it. On the last report, I anticipated what we would see today, which is a very high level of volatility. And in fact, I'll quote what I said, that there was a ton of refresh rendering, meaning that for sites that are not getting new content daily or even weekly, they're being recrawled, pages and pages. So I would expect some more adjustments and reprocessing of existing pages. And I think that's why, barring other factors, most likely it would look like an update, when in reality it's just a processed data dump. So welcome to today's data dump. And that's why I keep this going. When I logged into one of the test sites last night, I saw page after page where the Googlebot had hit tons of pages on the 8th. You know, it was almost like somebody had an agenda. Also, note here, we did have a Search Console update, and all of our sites are updated to the same date, January 9th. Now, let me just show you where you can find that information. You would log into your Search Console. I'm not going to show you mine. And on the left-hand side, under indexing, you'll see pages. Click on that. It'll open up a new screen. And you will see two things. It'll tell you what your site's primary crawler is, and the last it was updated. So you'll see over here where it will say like January 9th. Righty. Let's see. Now let's go back. Let's go to the cheat sheet. So I decided, sometimes I do things, but I don't necessarily communicate that I've done them. So this is updated as of this morning. And so far, no new content was found on the primary crawler desktop test site. The last time was January 7th, and I did confirm as recently as this morning that on that site there are mobile rendering bots that are pulling the pieces of pages. The same cannot be said for the mobile primary crawler. So again, the same previous dates in terms of when we found a simple keyword, that is a keyword that is visible on the page, and then a JavaScript keyword, which is only visible after the second pass through Google. They call it the render machine, where they render all the JavaScript and all the pieces so that they can create our pages on their side, where all of our pages are 100% HTML, and that's how they get scored. And then I was not able to find mobile crawlers on there that were rendering. I found mobile crawlers, but I need to see that they're rendering and pulling the pieces. And you can tell when you look at your server log what they're pulling. Now, yes, so definitely, let's go back over here. There's history here. So it definitely has the look and feel of recrawled, reprocessed data. So if you're wondering, like, is this an update, the odds are very, very low considering how much bot activity was crawling. And let's go look at that. So you can kind of see here on the 8th, it kind of went nutty, especially on the desktop site. But here's the most recent date was yesterday. And this is for the mobile test site where it's primary crawler. You can see that this first one over here are the desktop bots. This first one is a non-Chrome bot that crawls the directive files, sitemaps. It does occasionally crawl HTML, but primarily it's sitemaps, robots text, ads.txt files, and the like. And over here, this would be, but as you can see, we haven't had those very often, the rendering desktop bots. Now over here, the blue, under the blue are the mobile. So we've had some mobile going on here, but also very little on the desktop site. So there you go. I think we're going to, the way these things work out is kind of like we'll have a high reading today, and probably, depending on how much they crawled, and that looks like they crawled a lot, we might have a high day tomorrow. But then it's going to end. So either tomorrow will be normal, tomorrow will be high, and the day after be normal. So, of course, bearing any other information, I mean, if Google comes out and says we're doing an update, well, who's to argue, right? But from what it looked like, it was a big refresh, recrawl on everything. So they definitely kind of went out and did something. Oh, one other thing I want to mention. We are this is so far the first rollback of the year, and this was for content that was previously found on the 7th. The test page on the 7th was findable, and now it's not. So it'll come back, because pretty much one thing I'm noticing here is literally the Search Console update. When you publish a page, it updates these days pretty quickly. Not immediately. It's not real time. You know, you might publish in the morning, and maybe by end of day you'll see that it's registering that it has been crawled and it's indexed. So that's what we're finding here. And then there's this delay, obviously, between publish, crawling, Google saying it's indexed, and then when it can be findable. And part of the reason, I think, is right now is they're pushing out that big data dump. All right. Okay, so we know, thank you to everybody who has taken the time to submit the 2-minute Confessions of an SEO survey. It's the second annual. And whoever it was that left the review that said it was the best SEO podcast, I owe you a beer at the next SEO event. And if you're looking for more SEO content, I hope you'll check out Confessions of an SEO. Last week episodes, not only did the survey give birth to the idea of another type of episode on the show, it's also given me some good clues on things that you guys are interested in. Some tactics, maybe, some of the little things that I do, some of the tools that I use. And so I'll definitely include that, but I will definitely walk that fine line. I do not want to initiate any FOMO, fear of missing out. I think as SEOs, we freak out way too much, and we put importance where things may not have to be that hard. All right. Anyway, take care. Thank you for your time. Get back to work. See you tomorrow.